read out my whole set to a room. And above me, when I did it, there was a swastika.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new Slum Your video. I hope you've had a great day, and in today's video we're talking yet again about TommyInnit. Now recently a post started gaining traction about a Tubbo stream from last year that went unnoticed. I mean, prepare yourselves because you're not going to be able to guess what it is. There's no world where this is remotely acceptable. For him to retell the story as if it's no big deal is disgraceful. For him to recite their slogan on stream and say it's the best part after performing an entire set with a swastika above his head. And to deny that's what he did and say that he refuses to believe he entertained. The utter lack of self-awareness and disregard for that symbol and group's history is nauseating. There isn't a world where anyone can claim to stand for good while performing for and gathering with Nazis. We're going to take a look at the full clip, not just the clips that this user has posted of it. We're going to look at it in its entire context and see if this person is being disingenuous with their take and what actually happened on this Tubbo stream. I do want to thank the people that told me about this in my comments and then tagged me as well under the post.
I'm going to make a solid 40.
Don't do it now, Jack. I did it now and it was the worst.
No, I'm not gonna, I wasn't planning on it.
Oh, it was just so funny.
That's my business.
I really loved the joke that was attached to it. So now whenever I think of that traumatizing moment for you...
Do you know I read out my whole set to a room. And above me, when I did it, there was a swastika.
What?
Oh, that was terrible.
It didn't know.
It was a rainbow swastika.
That was confusing.
Didn't
No,
know.
so the bar where we did start, we didn't notice until Tom got on stage. I started filming and went, ooh.
Hang on, we're in a gay Nazi bar.
What you're going to notice in this clip is I think TommyInnit's phrasing of the events kind of screws him over here more than the actual events would. Because whilst I bet the video of his comedy routine is unusually funny, because we all know that TommyInnit comedy routines aren't usually funny, and this is the one time I would actually pay to see it, there's a possibility that the swastika in question that is hanging above his head in this routine isn't actually one to be associated with that group, and is maybe a religious symbol in fact. It's more Tommy's phrasing here and how they talk about the situation that screws him over more than that possibility.
It was like terrible.
Yeah. But
here's
the better
allowed?
thing. They loved the GOTS joke.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
fucking
you're shocked.
shit. They're fucking Nazis. What?
Why
Oh,
don't
gay
know what
Nazis.
they were? It was really confusing because it was like,
What?
I'll show you.
Yeah.
it was weird, man. It was like, the whole room was like patterned with different skateboards with different designs, and one of them was a backwards rainbow swastika.
Why Jack Manifold there saying it was a backwards facing one is what makes me believe that there is a strong possibility that it isn't the one that is associated with that evil group. I think in this situation, because we haven't actually seen this comedy routine, we haven't seen TommyInnit stand underneath it, we have no idea what it actually looked like, we're just going off of what they're saying here. I think it's important to give a charitable view and two sides of the coin. Main question is, I just don't know why you would say this on stream, because you're just going to stumble over your words, you're going to put your foot in it, you're going to say something wrong that makes you look 10 times worse than what the actual situation is.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was.
I did look it up to see if it was like a specific signifier or something. But
There's me, and there's the gay.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah, no, that's just a swastika. That isn't a pride flag. It's the wrong orientation.
It was
yeah,
also
exactly.
backwards,
It's just
which
a
was
rainbow.
weird.
It's just a rainbow. It's
Yeah.
not
And this is the best part. This is the part I didn't say on my stream. It has the caption, "Rule hard, rule proud."
Oh god. Oh, what a horrific place.
So that slogan as well, this is where a lot of people are saying that no, this is something that is affiliated with that group. As much as I would absolutely love to see that clip of TommyInnit performing underneath it, we have no idea what it looks like, right? I can't jump to conclusions, I can't jump to assumptions here. We've got to be charitable and give both sides of the coin, not make any conclusions here. That would be reckless of me, and it would also be reckless as you, the viewer, to jump to assumptions about this. You have no idea what it looked like. We're just going off of their descriptions, what they said, and we can critique them on what they're saying, I guess.
Hey, it's not gay. Like,
Yeah, I think you're...
it's not. It's just a rainbow. It's just a swastika.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Not positive.
No.
What the fuck?
But they weren't Nazis.
Yeah, they were.
Oh, well, they really like my set.
This is where we can have a critique, right? Because they're all working under the assumption that TommyInnit has performed his comedy, his awful comedy, at a place full of Nazis, and TommyInnit is defending that because they enjoyed his set. Regardless if the symbol was of a religious orientation or something else outside of that specific group's one, just because of what TommyInnit is saying here and all the assumptions that they're working underneath, that's where your critiques can come in.
Yeah, dude,
I refuse to believe I've entertained Nazis.
Well,
I don't think you meant to, but I think you might have done.
Well, don't say that. Tell me I've not entertained Nazis.
Why? Hey, I don't feel better either. We didn't notice till
You
after I'd done my
also
yeah, we didn't notice till after I'd done it as well.
Hang on.
You both
Hang on.
entertained
We
Nazis.
noticed after I entertained the Nazis, and then Jack made the
Fuck
choice.
off! No, I did not! Fuck off! Fuck!
You went last.
Do not throw me under. We did not. I didn't fucking notice by that point. Do not
What the
fucking do
fuck?
that.
I love TommyInnit's thought process here, right? I'm being like questioned just a little bit, right? I might put my foot in it on a public stream. What can I do? Let me just throw my friend under the bus to make him look 10 times worse than he probably actually is.
How is that like allowed?
It was Ohio.
We were in the middle
Right.
of Ohio.
Okay, it was
we
Ohio.
were in a city called Painesville.
Mm.
Well, I
Yeah.
didn't mean to.
Yeah, that's kind of fucking depressing.
Oh man, things have really gone downhill for me, haven't they? If I'm sat.
Yeah, me too. And then you tried to make me look like I'd done it on purpose, you
Why
prick.
are you getting so panicked?
Because you
That's
did,
not
you
people.
did, you did just make it sound like you made the conscious choice to entertain Nazis.
Again, this is where critiques can come in because that's the assumption they're working under, and TommyInnit just threw Jack Manifold under the bus to shield himself.
To be
That is a pretty bad
Yeah.
accusation.
That is,
You
yeah.
insinuated Jack looked at him and went, it's fine.
Maybe in Painesville they just.
And
don't
look, you
know
can't
what-
have a haircut like this and imply that about people, right?
You know, that's very fair. He's being very
Maybe in
fair.
Ohio, in Painesville, they just don't. They're just behind.
Stop trying to justify it.
No.
Well,
Shut
yeah,
up.
yeah, shut up.
Shut
Well,
up.
I didn't mean
Shut
to.
up.
No,
Oh, well,
no.
Harry's going to understand.
What?
In two minds of this, right? Because he's put his foot in it, right? He's the one that brought it up on stream, right? Which is such a reckless and careless thing to do because you're just going to end up putting your foot in it entirely, right? But then he gets up and leaves, right? Which is a funny thing, right? Because he's just literally running away from the controversy and mess that he's created. As well, it's kind of a sensible thing to do because, you know, you're just going to keep putting your foot in it if you stay there.
It's just a.
As someone who's
It's just
a
evil.
big part of his job is being live, he says a lot of things that you maybe shouldn't say live.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you think you'd learn. You do
You
think
think-
you'd learn.
You think he'd adapt, change, improvise, overcome? No.
I
Just-
just think Harry.
He just.
Go see how,
Yeah.
you've got an owl.
Well,
What I'm more shocked about with this clip is the fact that I hadn't heard about it until now, right? This stream is from 2024, because usually you would think that TommyInnit's audience and the people that are watching this would jump to conclusions and blow this out of proportion and blow it up across social media and talk about it. But I heard more chatter about AI than I did this clip.
The bar where we did start, we didn't notice until Tom got on stage. I started filming and went, ooh.
There is a lot to be said about these clips, and people have not held back on social media. So we're just going to read a few of the people's reactions and thoughts to this, because there isn't anybody really that is defending TommyInnit in this instance, or being charitable, or giving two sides of a coin. It is just lots of people absolutely shitting on the guy. I don't care about YouTube drama, especially when it comes to people that were associated with the Dream SMP, but holy shit, why have none of his fans ever brought it up? Why didn't he walk out when he realised he was at that type of bar? Because yeah, their assumptions about this is that that's exactly what happened, right? They were at that type of bar performing to those type of people, so yeah, people are going to critique that even if that wasn't the case, right? Even if this bar wasn't that type of thing and that symbol wasn't associated with that group and it was more of the religious variety and represented something entirely different. Because of all their reasonings and what they did while working under that assumption, you can critique it in that way. Can't wait to see the Inniters make an excuse for this one. Their favours a misogynistic, privileged, fat-phobic, sexist, clout-chasing, immature POS who is also now chill with that group. How could he do this and retell it so nonchalantly? How the fuck can anyone support this shit? Do you think it is just a tad bit disingenuous, right, to say that he's chill with that group? I do think that is, you know, not realising the full context of it or giving just any shred of charitability. This is the most uncharitable take that you could possibly have on the situation. This is so fucking nauseating, seriously. How do you realise this and continue to perform in a place like that and then just sit there casually and say they weren't that group when there's a banner that says rule hard and rule proud? You know what's fucked up is another place they're talking about. It was not a swastika, it was a manji. Kind of fucked up to compare or confuse a Buddhism, Hinduism, and Jainism symbol with a that group swastika. Not that I'm surprised with the kind of people Tommy hangs out with. All of the atrocious, bizarre, disgusting ways to retell the story, this is pretty high up there. They weren't that group. Oh yeah, sure. They just went to that group bar with that group symbol in a non-that group way. If you can support this, go ahead and block me. So Jack knew it was a that group bar when Tommy came on stage because he had a swastika above his head and just let him do his full performance. And they don't even regret what happened. They just think it was weird and funny. Like I've said in this video, I don't think there are things to critique here, right? Because they're working under the assumption that it is that group symbol and that they perform to to a variety of people from that group. So what they say there is 100% criticizable, just like I've done in this video. TommyInnit 100% puts his foot in it as well, and the way he's described it has made it look 10 times worse than it possibly is. It's important in this type of situation where we don't really know the full context because we can't actually see the symbol that he was performing under to give that charitable view as well, that charitable aspect, whilst also being free to criticize him because he was working under the assumption that it wasn't that charitable aspect. There was no point me going in there guns blazing and ripping this guy apart when that could not actually be the thing. Of course, criticizing him for how he's talking about the situation and the assumptions that he's working on and how he's chosen to then go ahead with that is understandable, but I do think people are being disingenuous when they're talking about the situation and retelling the events of what happened. But with this type of situation, I'm incredibly curious to see what you, the viewer, has to say about this, so please feel free to leave your comments down below. Once you're done, then you might also subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. This one was a bit of a weird one to film and try and skirt around, so I do appreciate you watching. But I've been your host Samuel, and I will catch you in the next Slopic. Goodbye.